What's up, sports bettors? Quick strategy video. I got 5 picks for you on PrizePicks. So we're going to be running through some picks on PrizePicks. So I'm going to give you a 5-pick entry, and if you haven't used it already, they're running a promo. They're bringing Curry's points line down from 30.5 points to 0.5 points. So if Curry has at least 1 point, if he scores anything, you're going to cash. So obviously this is a no-brainer play that you can include in your entry. But anyways, let's get into my picks. So I've explained this before, but the purpose of these videos, I obviously want to give you guys sharp bets that you can tail, but of course I also want to explain kind of the math behind PrizePicks, the strategy, teach you how to find profitable bets on your own. So what you're going to notice about PrizePicks, right, is it's a fixed payout platform. Right, this 5 flex, it doesn't matter if you take overs, unders, your payout never changes. If we switch this to an NBA first quarter pick, what a surprise, we're getting the same payout. PrizePicks is a fixed payout platform, long story short. So to beat PrizePicks, what you got to do is you need to win over 54.25% of your picks. If you want to be profitable on PrizePicks, this is all you have to do. You got to win at least 54.25% of your player props. So if you want to go with an MMA pick, if you like betting on the NHL, whatever it is, you got to be able to select these over-unders, just at a rate of 54.25%. That'll make you profitable. Right? Most people, they don't have an edge. They don't have an advantage. They're winning their over-unders. If you blindly selected over or under, you're going to be hitting these 50% of the time. So most people can't do much better than 50%, so they're not going to be profitable. But if you're able to win, let's say you can select your player props correctly 55% of the time. Right? You can get 55% of these player props, just like Vasilevsky, over under 28.5 saves. If you can predict, right? If you can get your player props right, 55% of the time, only lose 45%, you're going to have an ROI of 5%, right? It's going to be positive. So you're just trying to get this win rate as high as possible. That's all you care about. All you care about on PrizePicks is getting this win rate as high as possible. If you win your picks 56% of the time, now your ROI is going to be 12%, even better, right? 57%, well, now your ROI is 19.25%. So we're just looking for player props winning over 54.25% of the time. So how do we do that? Well, as sharp bettors, we use data, right? So the tool I typically start out on is the OddsJam Positive Expected Value tool. So this tool works for sportsbooks as well. I mean, you can see there's hundreds of sportsbooks on OddsJam. There's probably hundreds of sportsbooks you can get in your location. So I explain this all the time, but more sportsbooks is better. Right? Sometimes I have a lot of bets on FanDuel, so it looks like today I have 5 bets on FanDuel that I've given out. Basically all my plays I just give out on Twitter. I found some value on PrizePicks. You never know which book is going to slip up and offer value on any given day. So for example, in the Reds-A's game, I got the under 3.5 first 5-inning total runs at plus 146. And what you're going to notice is if we head over to this game, I got really good value. It was a really sharp bet, and I'm pretty sure they brought down the line a ton. So if I go to first 5 innings total runs, and we go to over under 3.5, or I'm not sure where to find it, but over under 3.5, so you can see it's down to plus 124, right? And we got this plus 146. So sometimes there's sharp bets that you can take advantage of on FanDuel. Sometimes there's more value on PrizePicks. And in these videos, I'm just showing you things I'm betting on. So all you got to do to be profitable on PrizePicks is win over 54.25% of your picks. So what OddsJam just shows you, right, on the positive EV tool is picks that are winning over 54.25% of the time, right? So you can see Matthew Boyd here. This is the bet we want to go with. It's the play in green and in bold. Those are the bets you want to go with on OddsJam. And why do we want to go with this? It's just data, right? You look at every single sports book. All these books have slightly different lines from one another. So I say this a lot, but you treat every sports book, as a data point on where the line should be set. All these sports books are pricing these, wagers independently. So they're all just data points on where the line should be set. And what you're going to notice is every single sportsbook, BetOnline, Pinnacle is known to be the sharpest sportsbook in the world, Fliff, like all these sportsbooks have Boyd's over, his over 4.5 strikeouts as the heavily favored outcome, right? Every sportsbook is saying, hey, he's a lot more likely to go over as opposed to under. So if you think about it, let me zoom out for a second once again. If you go to like NBA, for example, and we just want to look at, the games later today, you're going to notice the Nuggets are the favored team, right? In game one against the Suns, the Nuggets are favored. They're minus 153 favorites, so they're more likely to win than the Suns according to the market. And it's no different here, right? Every sportsbook has Boyd's over heavily juiced, so every data point, every sportsbook is telling us, hey, Boyd's a lot more likely to go over as opposed to under. So this is a sharp bet. It's actually an incredibly profitable bet to go with in your PrizePicks entry. Right, so this is the first play I went with, and I've explained this before, but there's a new tool on OddsJam. It's called the fantasy screen, and basically what this does is it reads in sportsbook odds. So you can see for Matt Boyd over 4.5 strikeouts, there's some overlap between this positive EV tool and this fantasy screen, and it works for underdog, no house advantage. Right, you can use this. I recommend, again, get as many of these sportsbooks as possible. If you have FanDuel in your state, get FanDuel, right? If you have PrizePicks, get PrizePicks. You never know which book is going to be slipping up and offering profitable bets on any given day. So what you're going to notice is what this fantasy screen does is it reads in odds from sportsbooks and shows you where there's value. So for Carlos Perez, over half of a base, all of the sportsbooks, every single sportsbook has his over heavily favored, right? Every sportsbook is telling us, hey, he's a lot more likely to get on base as opposed to not getting on base. You know, for Matt Boyd, once again, all the sportsbooks have his over heavily juiced, heavily favored. The sportsbooks are telling us he's a lot more likely to go over as opposed to under. So this fantasy screen is a great place to find sharp bets on PrizePicks on a daily basis. So what I want to do briefly before I go ahead and just show you guys my picks is you can quantify, right, the win probability for your play, right? So for example, FanDuel, we know they have the over favored. Every sportsbook has the over favored, but they all have slightly different odds, right? On FanDuel, they have more juice towards Boyd's over than, let's say, BetOnline, right? So there's a spectrum. All these books are data points, right? So we want to consider them all. So according to FanDuel, they have the over all the way up at minus 166, the under at plus 130. So according to FanDuel, they're saying this is the most important calculator in sports betting, no vig odds calculator. So FanDuel's saying, yo, this play is 58.94% to hit. We already know the over is going to be over 50%, but this is the number we care about, right? 54.25. That's the number we have to beat. And you're going to see, because all the sports books have the over super favored, FanDuel's all the way up at minus 166. They got the under at plus 130. This play is 58.94% to win. So if you're hitting your picks on PrizePicks 58.94% of the time, again, this spreadsheet will be in the description on YouTube. There's no magic going on. Like, I'm literally just breaking down PrizePicks payouts. And then if this is the percentage of your picks you're winning, calculating your profit margin. So if all your picks could hit at a rate of 58.94%, your ROI long-term on PrizePicks would be 35.5%. 34.5, I apologize. But that's just one data point, right? FanDuel has more juice. They have the over more favored than, let's say, BetOnline. So BetOnline, they only have the over at minus 143. So if we put in BetOnline's market, they have this minus 143, plus 110, right? So they're not as bullish on the over. It's a little lower than FanDuel, 55.27%, but that's still going to be profitable. It's still above 54.25%. So we use all these sportsbooks as data points, and what you're going to notice, especially for this play, is every single sportsbook has his over heavily favored around, like, you know, minus 160-ish odds, minus 155. So this is an incredible bet, an incredible player prop to include in your PrizePicks entry, an absolute no-brainer. All the sportsbooks have the over heavily favored. So here's what I ended up going with, and again, you can include that free square if you want to. I went with Kempe over 3.5 shots on goal. So you can see right here, right? I don't discriminate. If there's value in the NHL, I'll have more NHL player prop bets. More value in the MLB, I'll have more MLB player prop bets. For Kempe, all the sportsbooks have his over heavily favored, so we took that. Kempe over 3.5 shots on goal. Pavin Smith under half of a run to not score a run. Boyd over 4.5 Ks. Jose Abreu under 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Hagel under 2.5 shots on goal. All these plays from the EV tool, from the fantasy screen. Hopefully this video was helpful. I'll include my email in the description on YouTube. Never hesitate to reach out, if you have questions. So never hesitate to reach out, and let's make some money, guys.